Okay, so now we are moving on to working with text on Sololearn. So first thing on working with text, once this loads, is the font family. So not sure anybody who's used Microsoft Word or any text editor is familiar with different font families like Times New Roman, stuff like that. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to jump into our CSS file. So we've got test stuff. So that is, where's the test stuff? Right here. Here's the test stuff. So anything that we edit in this class is going to affect that section. So if we come down here and we do font family, and let's just do Times New Roman. See, great thing about working with Visual Studio Code is it fills it all out for you, right? So instead of having to type all this stuff out, I just started the Times New Roman and it filled in the rest of the font family stuff for me. So now if we go into our local host, here's the test stuff class. It's in Times New Roman. Now, kind of looks the same as everything else. So let's do a different one. Let's try fluorescent cursive. Man, this one's gonna actually make me type everything out. I needed to clear my empty cache. And see, it's got this cool little cursive stuff, or this Florence cursive. And there's all kinds of different font families you could use. And you can always Google CSS font programming. You're going to use Google all the time. So just go ahead and Google it, and you'll use W3 Schools all the time as a reference. And you'll be able to pull up all sorts of different font families, and there's other web pages and stuff where you can pull that up as well. So yeah, just figure out what type of font you want to use and go ahead with that. So all right. Okay. Yeah, so this is just saying you can use multiple different font families in case the browser doesn't support that particular one. as a backup. All right, now let's get into font size. So same thing, we can mess with the test stuff. And let's go ahead, let's go ahead and jump in here just so it's clear to see, the test stuff. Let's get rid of some of this other stuff that we created during the HTML course because we don't need all this. So first, let's go ahead and get rid of this. Sure, we'll leave the nav. We don't need all this. We'll just have just the test stuff. A couple breaks in there. So it's down below the nav. And let's get rid of stuff. So it's more clear what we're editing. So there we go. So we'll just be able to see exactly what we're doing, and we don't even need this div right here. All right. So now we're going to jump into font size. So it's going to start off with basic font size, and later I'm sure it gets into pixels and whatnot. Yeah, pixels and EM. But let's just start with keeping it simple. All right, so let's jump in here. You want to make it bigger. So let's go down and do font size. Let's do extra large. And great thing about the editor, pops up, tells us our options. So we can just select it. Don't even have to type it. And as always, empty cache, as you're dealing with CSS, so it's pulling from a different page. And there you go. That's extra large. All right, and let's even go extra large. Extra large. And so that's just using basic text. I mean, what I want to do. Do it small. Now, to be perfectly honest, we don't usually, I mean, you could just use the basic, like, all right, large, extra large, but usually what you're going to be using is like pixels, because you can go really big with that, or like real specific sizes, right? So like, all right, so let's start with, and I'm sure you're familiar with pixels anyway, like so like let's try 12 pixel cache. All right, there's like 12, so it's kind of looks kind of like a, kind of small, but let's try 12 EM. That's huge. So there's a big difference, right? but now let's try like 36 pixels. right? And then you can just keep adjusting till it's the size you want, right? So that's working with font sizes. Pretty straightforward. All right, now let's jump on font style. Okay, so just like when you're working with a text editor, I'm sure you're familiar with like italics and stuff like that. So now let's jump on some font style. And here we've got some options, right? So let's just start with italic. Didn't work, of course. I got an empty cache. And there's the italics. All right. And let's try. So normal, you're not usually going to use normal unless it's already like, unless you're, it's going to default to normal, right? So you won't have to do that normally unless something it's inheriting from, because remember we've talked about inheritance. Like if you wrote like, all right, let's have all the body of the text be italic. I don't know why you do that. Look kind of weird, everything like that, but okay. But you wanted that section to be not italic, then you'd make it normal. But if it was let's save it. Because it's person. There we go. But if you wanted it, this section to be normal, because like the other one is, you know, specified something, you know, higher up, like if, like, all right, let me just show it to you instead of just saying it. All right, so now I do got to create a style tag that I just deleted, whatever. Oh, let's do like body. Right. So, and then let's this. All right, so we've got like right now set to the whole body being italics, right? So like everything, like the home page, everything's italic, right? But now we want this section not to be italic, because right now it's inheriting from the body because it's, you know, part of the body. So everything in the body is going to be that way. But if we go ahead and specify, nah, this part we just want normal, because it's the most direct element. And then this part's normal and everything else can be italic, right? So yeah, so that's that. Oh yeah, and if you just want things italic, you can just do it quick with the I tag and covered in HTML. font weight. So I want to make it big and the bold. It's nice and bold. Right? You can do bolder too. And just like with font size, you can also specify the font weight. So let's go with 900. Big old font weight. Well, hold on. Let's go from one to another. Hold on. Okay, so here's a lighter one, right? And then go to 900. And yeah, see, it's you know, a heavier, you know, bolder font weight. All right. Font variant. All right, so you can just have normal or I guess small caps. So first of all, let's get rid of this cursive. Let's just have it go to its default. All right. And then font variant. Let's try small caps. There you go. Color we've covered before, but let's go ahead and do that. We've already got color listed right here, but let's change this to green. Show up better. And you shouldn't just be watching this video, you should be following along. There you go. And again, remember you can do RGB and the hex colors like we covered in the HTML. I already covered that in HTML, so I'm not really going to talk about, you know, hex colors and RGB, but you can just Google how to how to pick the one you want and the color you want and whatnot. And also, actually, a cool thing with color, actually, in Visual Studio, yeah, see how it pops up and gives you all these different options right here, and then it's got your hex colors right there. So as you type it, you know, it's going to give you options right there. So let's go aqua. And then your text align. So naturally it's going to go to the left, but you want to like center it. Another way to center too is to use a center tag. So I'll show you that as well. So there it's that way. Now let's get rid of text align, right? So it's defaulting to the left, right? But if we jump in here and throw a center tag on it, and as always, close your tag. And it's gonna center. All right, so let's break this video up into two parts because there's a lot for working with text. So I'm gonna go ahead and stop there, and then in the next video we'll pick up with aligning text vertically. All right, so thanks, and I'll see you next time.